Hi, I'm Claire Crane here for BBC Six Music with Seasick Steve. Loads of people know, but for those who don't, who first called you Seasick Steve?
Well, it's a guy who's just, it's a little bit embarrassing because I got sick on a boat. This is before I was on the Jules or anything. I was on a boat from Norway to Denmark. It was called a blues cruise. It was a booze cruise is what it was. But I didn't get sick from drinking. I get seasick real bad and car sick. So I got real sick and threw up all night long. And then this guy just come up to me and goes, "Man, you Seasick Steve." But I wasn't really playing, so and he was drunk, and it was just And then a few years later, when I decided to try to play again, I was trying to think of a name for a little band we were putting together, and I thought, "Oh, I can't use that. That's so dumb." But then I thought, well, but it's true. So that's where it come from, And the guy who called me, he was a real idiot too. So it's really kind of a funny thing.
It's a cross to bear.
Yeah, but and then how it's funny how the names change. Like that didn't mean anything. It was kind of dumb to me, but now it's like success or whatever it is changes it. It makes it something more real, I guess. Like the Beatles, that's a weird name.
Yeah.
I never would have called myself a Beatle, but it's a pretty good name now.
I wouldn't mind being called part of the Beatles, no, that's for sure. And your music, you've certainly got your own style. Music is part of you. How would you describe it? How would you describe your sound?
Well, everyone, since I started coming over here, say I'm like a blues person, but I've never really thought that. I kind of thought I played like crazy country hillbilly music, I love country music and bluegrass, and I love rock and roll, and I like old country blues, and I feel like just a big stew of all that, but it's only recently people ask me what kind of music I played. Like all my life, no one really cared what I played, so I didn't have to think about it. If no one asks you, you don't have to think.
And you've been playing, like you say, all your life. You live the lifestyle I think loads of people would just love to be able to live, just playing music, going around. But it must have been tough for you at times.
Well, I only got to start doing this for real, like after the Jules, Before that, man, I just had a normal job working construction and stuff, so I've raised 5 children. My oldest boy is almost 40 years old, so I most of my life, when I was young, I just wandered around and was a complete bum, but when I had children, I didn't get a chance to play music much, I tried to take care of my family doing work, but I always wanted to do something, and it wasn't until way after I should have been way done that I get to do this, So it's like because it's been such a short time that I've got to do it, really, that it seems real dream-like, I still don't quite believe it in a weird way.
You mentioned the Jules Holland show there. You've been on again recently. What's it like going back?
Yeah, man, it's like home there for me. They're the ones they're literally night and day. I had no job, nothing, and then I went on there and I got successful. So it was night and day. So they're like my family, and everyone there treats me so. I've been on it a lot of times now. I don't want to tell anybody though, but yeah, it's super fun, and Jules and everybody who works there is just totally nice to me. So it's like family.
That moment you spoke about, that night and day. Did you know while you were playing that moment? Did you know that was happening?
Exactly opposite. Yeah, because they had bands that were all set up in the corners. That's how they do it at Jules. Everybody has their place. But me, they just shoved out into the middle, and I only had my sons. I had a little tiny amplifier belonged to my boy, and it's a big kind of cavernous place, and it sounded horrible. Everything just sounded horrible. I couldn't hear what I was singing, and so on that thing, I kind of speed up just to get done. And then I threw the guitar down. I went, "Oh, God." And it was only when I was done and the lights kind of come on and I heard everybody clapping. So I actually thought it was horrible. I thought I just thought, "Oh, there's your chance." But, I didn't know what Jules Holland even was. I knew I was on TV, but I didn't have no idea the impact it could have.
Well, even on an off day, you certainly did well.
Well, I see now that it was good, but I couldn't hear it because when you can't hear yourself play very good, because that little amp was so small, it sounded like a mosquito. Zzz over there. And I went, oh God. So, but later I've seen it, and it was definitely fun.
And you're known for your amazing array of guitars made out of all different kinds of things. How many have you got?
Well, kind of the core ones that I take around, I got this diddley bow, which is a piece of wood with a string nailed on it. That one, and I've got two of these guitars made out of hubcaps. So there's two hubcaps, and one has a broomstick in the middle, and the other one has a garden hoe. So that's two of them. And then I got another one they have four strings on them. And then I got another one that's made out of a cigar box. So it's just a cigar box, and then it has a thing on it, and then some matches on it, and that has four strings. And then I got that guitar I played on the Jules that got three strings on it. And I got a couple that had, like that one over there got six strings. So I have a couple that got the normal strings.
Well, how did you start making them? When did you first start making them? Was it out of necessity? You just thought, I need something to play?
Well, I don't make all of them. A lot of them are just junk guitars I found. And then some I made, like that hubcap one, someone gave me, a guy named Davey gave me a hubcap guitar made out of two Morris Minor hubcaps. But then I was out in America one time, and I didn't have it with me. And I all of a sudden got asked to go play 4 or 5 shows, so I had to make one. So I made it down in the garage over there, and then Jack White had given me this one hubcap, as not to make a guitar out of, but just as it's like an old one from the 30s. So I had that as a souvenir, and then I thought, well, maybe I should try to find another one, and I found another one, and then I found a garden hoe and a few bits and pieces. Like the thing that holds the strings at one end is a barbecue spatula, and it's roped up with rope, and there's a beer can on the end. I don't know why I do it. I really don't.
Does that make a good sound?
No. It makes a kind of a weird sound, actually. But, for me, it's okay. I just can't believe that other people want to listen to it. I mean, I like what I do. But the thing that's so strange is that other people want to hear it from me.
They certainly do. And your new album, Hubcap Music, we were just talking about hubcaps. Yeah. Jack White, it's all coming together beautifully. Yeah. Tell me about the new album. What's the sound like?
Well, it's a little bit more than I usually do because John Paul Jones, the guy from Led Zeppelin, he plays on pretty much the whole record, the bass, and he plays some mandolin, he plays the organ, and some other instruments, and so we got a few more people on, and then Jack played on one of the songs, and then this country song I do, this gal named Elizabeth Cook sang with me. We did a little duet. So I just try not to make the same record every time, but probably left to myself I would just make the same thing each time.
What's it like in the studio with you? Are you in a studio? Is that how you record?
We do kind of two things. I use only old equipment, so I like setting it up in a house. So we set it up just in my house or something like that and do some recording, so it's just like sitting in your front room. And then at the end, we were down in Nashville, then we took it to another studio to finish it, also a small place, and then to get it all done, so. But it all has to be done on old stuff. I don't have no computer anywhere near my record.
Stay away.
I don't have nothing to do with them, so. And that's how most records is made now, is on computers. But I use the old tape machines and old valve equipment and things like that. And
talking of Jack White and his label, I've heard you sing his praises before. What was it like? Do you remember first meeting him?
Yeah, he came. I think when I played Reading Festival, that's the first time I met him. They came over to when we was playing and watched us play. And then next time I saw him was at Glastonbury, and he said, "Man, you should come over. We should do something." So a year and a half or 2 years ago, I went over there and went to his house, and we did a song together.
You signed to his label?
Yeah, we did. So he takes care of putting my records out in America.
Did you sign on his desk, did you say?
He has a coffee table in his office. That place is crazy, man. There's a coffee table out in the area. It has a big, what do you call it, rhinoceros skull. There's an elephant. It's crazy in there. But in his room, he had like this old coffee table in there. We were just sitting talking. He goes, well, He goes, "You want to be on my label?" I go, "Yeah," and I'll sign right here, and I signed his table. So he's kind of saved that. He thinks it's funny, so he shows everybody who comes. This is where Steve signed his deal. Oh, I'm so dumb.
And we mentioned Glastonbury. It's coming along soon. Do you enjoy playing it?
Yeah, man, it's amazing to get to play there, you know. So I'm really looking forward to coming back again. We played the 40th anniversary, I guess, a few years ago. So, you know, it's a, you know, to play any of these festivals for me is just dreamlike.
And you always just keep it to the bare minimum. It's you and sometimes a drummer. And are you ever going to have the showgirls dancing behind you?
No, but you know, we just did play the Roundhouse a couple nights ago, and because we had these girls who sang on, these girls from Tennessee who sang on the Started Out With Nothing record. They sang on one song on my record, so we decided to do it. So we had them singing, and we had some horns, but it was just for one thing, you know. But it was really weird. I got so confused looking at all these people on the stage. But because usually it's like me and Dan, but sometimes John Paul Jones comes and plays with us. So he played with us at the Roundhouse. So we had so many people on the stage. I thought I was in the wrong band, but usually it's just me and him, you know.
And anything special for Glastonbury this year?
Oh, I don't know.
Well,
Just try to have some fun, you know.
And Seasick Steve, last question. What is next for you? Now, you've had an amazing life so far. I mean, these past few years must have been unbelievable. And you keep going. What's happening next?
Yeah, I've got to do this so late in the game. I don't want to miss anything, so I want to keep going. But I would really like to get a dog again. And having a dog, it's not so fair to go running around all the time. So that's kind of, I don't quite know how to get a dog. I'd like to get a dog again.